It's going down. Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And as always, I would like to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. More rate hikes predicted in Eurozone. Core inflation, which excludes energy and food, has hit what? Record high of 5.2%. Now, this is concerning the Eurozone. So what I'm going to do is I am going to read this article and continue from there. Inflation in the Eurozone dropped to single digits for the first time in months in December, according to data from Eurostat, the statistical office of the European Union released on Friday. The region's headline inflation, which includes food and energy costs, came in at 9.2% year-on-year last month, falling sharply from 10.1% in November, the data shows. Analysts attribute the slower price growth to the drop in energy costs that came on heels of unseasonably mild weather. However, core inflation, which excludes food and energy, spiked to record high of 5.2%, with analysts warning that the European Central Bank, ECB, will likely continue last year's restrictive monetary policy well into 2023. Now, we are currently in the year of 2023. Okay, so the ECB is likely to stick to its hawkish rhetoric in the near term despite the big falls and the likelihood of further sharp declines this year. Franciscus Samas, senior economist at Capital Economics Research Group, told the Financial Times. Paul Hollingsworth, chief economist at BNP Paribas, added that 2023 will be mostly about getting under the hood of inflation and seeing exactly what is driving it. I'll tell you what's driving your inflation: the so-called elites. Because if you was not born under a rock, you should know by now that the so-called elites are systematically crashing this economy. They're systematically crashing this they are systematically crashing all of the economies of the different planets. Okay, they're also systematically crashing the financial system. And the reason why they are doing this is because if you don't know by now, well then, well, I'm going to tell you, they have an agenda called a New World Order. And a part of their New World Order is to basically squeeze people into subjection to them by creating all these various events, which is leading to the distress of nations and, leading to people protesting, rioting, crying for help, which is what they want. They want people to cry for help because they know that as soon as people cry for help, what's going to happen? They're going to go flocking to the government for that New World Order. They're going to be flocking to the so-called elites for answers, and guess what? The so-called elites, they're going to come with their answer. And you know what that answer is going to be? The New World Order. They're going to tell you that this world needs a change. So, if you want to know what's exactly driving these inflations, well, it's the so-called elites doing it. Even though we know that the Heavenly Father is using them to do it, because the Heavenly Father controls the left-hand side. No, well, the Heavenly Father through His Son controlled the left hand side, as well as the right hand. So the Heavenly Father is the one that's the Heavenly Father through His Son are the ones that's causing these inflations. Using the left hand side. So last year, okay, the ECB, the European Central Banking, was raising the interest rate at an unprecedented pace to battle the surge in prices, hiking it from negative 0.5% in July of last year to 2% by the end of the year. Karsten, an economist at ING, told Bloomberg that stubbornly high underlying inflation will keep interest rates at higher levels, flowing hikes in February, March, and probably even in the second quarter, with the regulator moving its focus away from headline inflation to core inflation and wage growth. Last month, the ECB President Christine Lagarde warned against focusing on short-term changes in the headline rate, as the coming months are likely to bring more price spikes. Okay. And the International Money Federation issues call on U.S. inflation. We check that out. It says it may well be that the December will be a little bit lower, but we have good reasons to believe that January and February, for instance, are likely to be higher. Okay, we're in the month of January, so we cannot be fixated on a single number. The European Central Bank projections for inflation this year remain well above its 2% target, averaging 6.3% by the end of the year. Now remember, when these devils give you numbers, you always gotta think higher, because see what these devils will do is they'll give you the minimum number or the lowest number they can think of depending on the situation in order to avoid panic. But what if I told you that this number was higher than 6.3%? So let's go to Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5. Because these inflations, they're going to lead to food shortages. It's going to lead to people rioting. It's going to lead to increased crime rate. It's going to lead to civil unrest. Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. And what do we see here? We see the Lord's judgment being brought to light. Okay? Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So every morning doth the Lord bring his judgment to light. And what we're seeing here is continuous judgments going out upon Europe, upon the Americas, upon Germany, parts of the Middle East. You see? So with that, I'm going to say shalom. So on to the next one.